Hello. Many of my students have asked me to do a short video explaining how to write the problem statement in the research. And they have asked me also to do it in English. So I have decided to do that. And there we go. Problem statement is a part of your study that should be written in the introduction. I think problem statement is the first step that a researcher should put in his mind or her mind, and based on the problem statement you are going to write your objectives, goals, and the title. Title is not the first step in the research. Problem statement is. Simply, in the problem statement, you are persuading yourself first and then your readers why your research is important, why you're doing your study. So usually you're writing your problem statement from general to specific. You are going to tell your readers why this study is important. What are you going to add to the literature based on the study? Is there any gap in the literature that you have decided to do this research? Gaps can be, for example, no research or limited studies regarding this topic. Gaps can be, for example, the results are contradictory. You have read many studies and the results are contradictory. For example, I have read many studies. Some studies said that probiotics can prevent VAP in the ICU. By VAP, I mean ventilator-associated pneumonia. And some studies said that probiotics don't work as a preventive measure to prevent, VAP in the ICU. So the findings are contradictory. Maybe you will go a systematic review, meta-analysis, to fill this gap. Regarding the gap, what else? Maybe the sample size is not enough in other studies, so you are making a new study with a big sample size to fill that gap. So gaps can be a lot. For example, we have done a study about the effect of music therapy and spiritual therapy on chemotherapy-induced anxiety. There is a study said that music therapy is good to reduce chemotherapy-induced anxiety, and there is a study that said spiritual therapy is good, but there was no study that's comparing those two methods. So we have decided to do this study to fill that gap. So gaps can be a lot in the research. Anyway, there is something important in the problem statement which called the hook that you're catching fish with it. You need to catch your reader's attention by putting some numbers, some statistics. Those numbers are very important to catch your reader's attention. Some statistic regarding morbidity, mortality rate, regarding the incidence. Cost can be very important to get your reader's attention. Those aspects are very important to write in your problem statement. And finally, your problem statement should be based on your variables. You need to connect your variables. Don't jump from variable to another one. Explain the importance of the study based on your variables and connect them together. Let's get an example and finish this video. If you want to do a study about, for example, caring for diabetic foot, you are doing some exercise, you want to apply some technique to reduce or to prevent diabetic foot. What you need to write your problem statement, you need to start from general to specific. you need to write first of all about diabetes mellitus. You need to explain diabetes mellitus is important, is one of the chronic diseases around the world, some statistic regarding the incidence, the mortality and morbidity rate about the diabetes mellitus, and then you will explain the problems with diabetes mellitus, and one of those problems is diabetic food. And again, diabetic food can cause many problems, can increase the hospitality rate, can do blah blah blah. And then you will say that there are many techniques that can prevent diabetic food. You're gonna mention those techniques, and if there is no research regarding the technique that you are going to use, this is the gap that you will mention. And if there is some techniques you want to compare those techniques to find out which one is the best, that will be the gap again. If there is some studies that they are explaining those techniques, but the sample size is not enough, the findings are contradictory, that's the gap in your research. And at the end, you will connect the last part of your problem statement with your hypothesis, and you will write your objectives. So that's it for this video. Have a good one.